welcome to my channel. So today I'm talking about The Woman King that's streaming now on Netflix, and I wasn't going to do a whole video about this movie. I wanted to do a short, maybe two shorts, like a part 1 and part 2, and do a quick review, but the more notes that I had on this movie, the longer it became and I couldn't fit it in a short. Another reason why I didn't want to talk about this movie is because it's kind of an old movie. It's not a brand new movie. I think it premiered at the Toronto Film Festival. It premiered first at a festival and then it went to the theaters. And now it's for all of us to see for free on Netflix. And when I started watching the movie, I went in with not a lot of expectations because when the movie first came out, everything that I read about it, it was super divisive. Either people loved it or they hate it. Some people are saying it's not accurate to the history, and some people think it's an epic. So I went with like a blank space. I was surprisingly impressed because I don't like this type of movies, a lot of fighting, a lot of battles, and it was so good that I decided to talk about it. I have my notes here, and what I can see is spectacular action scenes, great dance choreography. The singing too. When the ladies are dancing and singing, I was like, I was dancing with them. There are beautiful shots of Africa. What else? Oh, and there's also some laughs thanks to, what was her name? Wait, LaShawn Lynch, who, oh my God, she's so good. I know she was in A Time to Die, the James Bond movie, and she did some, like a Marvel movie, multiverse or something. Oh my gosh, what a pleasant surprise. And not in a comedic way, she was more in a witty way. She brought this light empathy that was much needed for such a heavy story, and also her facial expressions were the best. The script was very well written. There's a lot of historical commentary. That's why it's causing so much controversy, because I think they should have put based on a true story or based on, true events. A lot of people are saying these are not, accurate events about, Africans selling, slaves. I know a lot of people compared this movie to Braveheart with Mel Gibson. I think the one and only time that I watched Braveheart, it was when I was little. It was probably when it first came out. And I remember just a lot of fighting scenes, and maybe that's why I didn't like it as much as other people, because I was little. So I need to revisit that. But The Woman King did remind me a lot of Gladiator, which is one of my favorite movies. Like Gladiator, it's like one of my top favorite movies. There was a lot of Gladiator in The Woman King. And it also in the training, where they're training the ladies to go into battle, it reminded me a lot of Mulan. Another movie that I thought about while I watched The Woman King, speaking of women warriors, remember the Amazon fighters in Wonder Woman? They all look like beautiful models. They will get their asses handed to them by the Agoji warriors here in The Woman King. Let me talk a little bit about the cast. I'll start with John Boyega. He plays the king. So good. He's so good here. I haven't seen much of him since the whole Star Wars fiasco. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember he spoke out about Disney and Star Wars, something like that. So he haven't got much work after that, so it was a really nice surprise to see him and how good he is. He's such a good actor. A lot of great performances in the movie. Another one was Naui. She's played by Tusu, what's her name? Tusu Umbedo. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, but she's the 18-year-old that her family kicks her out because she doesn't want to go into a setup marriage with this older man who hits her. So her dad takes her to the king and said, I want to sell her to the king. And she decides to join the Ogaji women. I also thought that maybe they could do a sequel with her, because basically she is a princess, because, spoiler alert, she's the daughter of Naniska, Viola Davis' character that at the end becomes the Woman King. So technically, Naui, it's a princess. So they could do a sequel of her, getting the throne, but who knows? Because if they're not very accurate about, you know, the history itself, maybe they could like fantasize a sequel. Also, now she has like a little romance with the Brazilian colonizer. What was his name? Malik. I didn't care much for that little romance. I could have done without it. He does buy her to free her, so maybe he was there for that reason. Of course, I have to talk about Viola Davis, who is a badass. She's so strong and confident, and her fighting scenes are incredible. But interesting enough, I preferred the scenes where she was, you know, her quiet and more dramatic moments, because, you know, as Viola Davis, any roles that she gets, she needs to have that one or two monologue to get us, and she does have a couple here. And I heard that the budget for this movie was $15 million. 15 million? It did not feel or looked like a $15 million movie. It felt a lot more expensive, which is great. It also runs about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Also, does not feel that long. I was not bored at any time. There is one mid-credit scene, so stick around for that, where Naniska's confidant, she is singing the names of all the women that were killed in battle. It was so touching. And I don't know if they did that on purpose, the writers or the director, but the last name that she says, it's something like Brianka, something like that. It reminded me of Brianna. And because she's saying all those names, it reminded me of the hashtag say her name. Remember, a lot of people were using the hashtag to raise awareness of all the Black women that were killed by police brutality. So when she says the last name, it clicked in my brain. It was like Breonna Taylor. So I don't know if they did that on purpose, but it was very, very touching. Speaking of names, maybe, I say maybe, they could have chosen another title for the movie, because I spoke with a male person, a man, who did not want to watch this movie because the title was The Woman King. And he said, oh, it's just a bunch of women, you know, fighting and, you know, a bunch of women in battle. I don't want to see that. And I was like, what? What? I'm a woman, all about gender equality, all about women empowerment. I am okay with the title, but I can see how, you know, misogynist people will be thrown off by the title of Woman King. I mean, it's their loss, because like I said, the fighting scenes are just like insane. Even the editing, it's not very choppy, and you can see how strong those women are. So these were my thoughts on The Woman King, streaming now on Netflix. So go ahead, watch it. It's a really good movie. I recommend it. Which side are you in? Did you love the movie? Did you hate the movie? Let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear your thoughts. And if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the little bell notification button so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you next time.